Are you guys ready for the show? Here we go. Let me change the title here. Nuts. Oops. It just says Nuts at Night. Here we go.
Is it Nuts at Night because I'm crazy? Is that why?
It's getting to be that way. It's fitting.
Do you think I'm losing my mind?
Steve, I wouldn't have asked you to be the co-host if I didn't think you already lost your mind.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm exploiting your craziness. You know that, right?
profiting from my mental profiting from mental defects. I got notes.
All right.
I am more prepared for this show.
I have a note.
Okay. You have a note?
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Oh man, those potato chips are calling my name.
You want to go? You want to start?
I'll put them over there on the bed. I can't reach them there.
Thanks. Do you want to start the show? Do you want to start the show?
Okay.
All right.
Oh, wow, we're late, aren't we? Sorry.
Here we
I didn't
go.
realize we're late.
5, 4, 3. Sorry, you ready?
No.
Okay. 2, 1. Welcome to Nuts at Night, episode number 65. Steve D'Amico is the co-host of Nuts at Night, and I'm going to let him do this like he sometimes does, like I sometimes do. Tell you what Nuts at Night is all about. Steve, what's Nuts at Night about?
I don't know. Whatever we think is or looks pretty cool to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the exact description that I have on iTunes. No. It's it basically is that. It's just whatever we want to talk about. You know, I do the shows all week, and we do computer repair shows, and I listen intently and ask questions and get the knowledge out there. And then, you know, every once in a while, you got to, like, just kick back and just enjoy ourselves and relax and just have a nice, relaxing show. And that's what Nuts at Night is all about. We do some tech, we do some movies, we do some whatever's going on, whatever we notice in the environment. And we miss a lot as well. So that's basically what it is. We bring a list of things we like to talk about, and I'll let Steve start off since he said he had some prepared notes. What do you want to talk about this week, Steve?
Oh, okay. We talked about X marks before, and it turns out that there's some good news on X Marks' blog. It turns out that so many people were so upset by the service disappearing, and I guess some common sense sank into them, and they're going to sell the company apparently.
Really?
There's enough, there's enough interest, enough backlash of people getting so upset that they're going away that I don't understand why they don't just make themselves profitable, but okay, they're just going to sell instead. I guess that's their way of making the company profitable.
That sounds fine. I mean, that sounds fine to me. Okay, they established there's demand for their site now. Somebody wants to buy it. Sell it.
Yeah. I guess there's supposedly interest, and I guess they're going to pick, the best one, and that's it. And so the service will live on. As far as how it's going to live on, I don't know. Nobody knows at this point. That's
interesting, isn't it? It's really interesting how that whole thing went down. To me, just in a business standpoint, usually that happens like behind closed doors. This happened it was so in the public that the public caused them to get this deal made. You know what I mean? It's not like Yahoo spotted them and said, okay, we're going to buy you guys or whatever. It actually might even be Yahoo who buys them. Who knows? But this was like Xmark goes, we're shutting down. The public goes, no. And then companies, they made the headlines and companies go, oh, that company has value, or Xmarks has value.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to buy them. Were there any prospective buyers that we know of, or?
I don't know if there was a list. I don't think they posted a list, but who knows? I mean, I guess it's anybody's. I guess it's anybody can bid on them.
Yeah. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's great. So that's good news for everybody that's using and loving Xmarks like me. And anybody that's out there that's not using it. I mean, I don't know if you want to sign up for it now that it's in limbo, but it's a pretty damn good service.
I love it, but all the Chrome lovers now, a lot of Chrome lovers out there, call them Chromies. They are trying to convert me, and I'm like, I love Xmarks, I love my Firefox, and I use it all the time. So I'm happy that it's going to stick around. But I think a lot of people, I think this might have caused a lot of people to say, well, Google has already built in, bookmark feature that we love. that syncs everything, and I don't know.
I might have to make the switch if Xmarks does end up going down. I might make the switch, but I'm all about the Firefox. I'm a big loyal fan.
Yeah, me too. You know,
In fact, I install it on all my customers' computers. I figure if they're going to use Internet Explorer, use it, but at least they have an option, you know?
Really? You install it on all your customers' computers?
Yeah, I'm pretty much make a point of it. Unless they mention a browser, then I'll install that instead. But I always spread Firefox. So I just figure, and some people actually use it and like it. And a lot of them ask me, "Oh, what's this?" And I just tell them, it's like, it's just like Internet Explorer without the learning curve. So I have to explain it to them. I said, look at that. Can you tell any difference? And they look at it and they go, no. And then I'm like, oh, okay. See, it's not that hard.
And then they call it Foxfire for the rest of their lives.
Oh,
See,
yeah,
techs call it Firefox, customers call it Foxfire. On 100% of the time, that will happen.
I think that's because there was a movie called Foxfire once.
I think it was called Firefox. Clint Eastwood?
No, there was a movie called Foxfire.
I think they were flying an SR-71. It was about a plane, right?
I have no idea.
You look up Firefox. I'll look up. No, you look up Foxfire. I'll look up Firefox.
Foxfire. It was a movie with Angelina Jolie in 1996.
Now look up Firefox.
Probably a different movie.
It is. Well, it definitely is a different movie. But
yeah.
I think Clint Eastwood flies an SR-71 or something like that.
I don't think this is a popular movie.
I think it was Clint Eastwood. Firefox, 1983. There's a French version. And then there's... You know what? Guys in the chat, I must be thinking of something else, aren't I? I can't find it. Anyway, that's cool. Anything else you want to go over about Xmarks, or?
No, just that it's awesome and not going away. Yay!
Yay!
Also, another quick one. Windows 7 has just reintroduced the Family Pack. The I think it's $150, but I probably could find it for a little less. And I think the going rate is usually about $150, and it's for 3 PC. It's 3 PCs. Man, the license works in a way where it's like it's considered a family pack. So I think how it works is that it has to be the license works where it's underneath one roof kind of situation, and you've got 3 PCs for. I mean, that's $50 a piece. That's pretty sweet.
Well, what do you mean? How does it work? Is there a special way that the family license works?
Yeah, it's just that you get 3 licenses. I think you get 3 licenses, or I'm not sure how it works, but I know that it's good for 3 PCs under one roof.
Under one roof. What do they check IP addresses or something?
Oh, who knows? I don't think so.
Okay. That's cool.
I doubt it.
I mean,
it's Microsoft.
How much is one license copy of 7 Home Premium?
Well, for everybody out there that's is slightly technical, everybody just buys the upgrade. And that upgrade goes from 100 to 120, roughly, depending on the deal that you're looking at. And then the non-upgrade license and media is. Oh, I'm thinking Home Premium prices, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much everybody. I mean, everybody just gets Home Premium anyway. And then Home Premium, I think the non-upgrade is 200.
What? No way. Really?
Yeah. I think 175 to 200 is.
I bought the OEM. I didn't buy the upgrade. I bought the OEM for 109 at Micro Center. That was a good deal. Yeah.
Or maybe I'm all wrong.
That was a year ago though. Because I think I need another license. I think I might, like I said before, I have this Hackintosh I'm running. I think I might convert it back to PC. But
to get the family pack, you get 3 options.
I know. I just don't need them. Actually, I probably could use them.
I might buy it, actually.
Why don't you buy it and give me one? We're family.
Okay.
Do you have to show like familial relation? Like, say you wanted to give me one. Do I have to prove that like we're related somehow?
No, but I might get raided by the cops. I might get hauled to jail.
That's awesome. Hey, let's see what I got in my notes here. Oh, come on. Well, this is news. The new MacBook Airs. Have you seen this?
I haven't. I didn't even look. I keep seeing
pull it up on the
browser.
Pull it up on the browser right now.
What's the point? It's not really made of air.
It's false advertising. Let me
it
see
is.
If I get.
Everybody should get their money back and say, "I see no air."
Well, I think honestly, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Everybody should get their money back because these things are way too expensive. Yes, you heard me say it. Brand new Apple product. I will not spend $1,000 for, let me give you the specs here. I will not spend $1,000 for, it's actually pretty cool. They do make a couple styles. Let me pull up the specs. I'm going to hit the buy now button here. Get the specs. 11-inch, 64 gig hard drive, solid state, 2 gig of memory, 1.4 gigahertz Core 2 Duo processor, and it's got NVIDIA GeForce 320M graphics, $1,000. That's a extremely glorified netbook, guys. What this computer is. It's extremely glorified. I mean, it's built awesome. It's super thin. It's shiny. It's beautiful. It has nothing under the hood, and it's overpriced. So I will not spend $1,000 for this. I might go like to $6,000 for something like this. I would spend $6,000 for something like this, not $1,000. Way too overpriced. Then the 128 gig version is $1,200 for the 11-inch. Same processor. We're talking Core 2 Duos here. Core 2 Duos. I mean, we've been in the friggin' i7, i3, i5 age for quite some time now. Don't put Core 2 Duos in anything anymore. Just don't do it, Apple. And then they have the normal MacBook, the 13-inch MacBook Air, 128 gig solid state drive, 13-inch. It's got 1.86 gigahertz processor, only 2 gig of RAM, $1,300, and then a 13-inch that's 256 gig of RAM, $1,600. Way too expensive. Jeez. You know, that 11-inch would be so sweet. You could that's something that I always picture taking these computers and throwing them in the car when I want to go somewhere. That's what I like for a travel computer. What can I take in my hand and throw in the passenger seat? And this 11-inch MacBook Air, I can do it, but I'm not going to do it for $1,000. What do you think, man, about all that stuff? You looking at it now?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, it looks cool and all, but it's just so not me. I'm so not interested. Just I don't know. It's just.
I know. I even got into it with the guy at Best Buy about this, and he was not the best guy to talk to about this, but he was telling me how clock speed isn't a factor anymore, and I believe that. You know, back in Pentium 4 days, it was really like if you had a 1 gigahertz Pentium 4, slow, 2 gigahertz was fast, 3 gigahertz was a screamer, but then the dual-core processors came out, and then clock speed was not quite as a factor anymore. And then the Core 2 Duos come out, and clock speed's not a factor. Then quad cores. So clock speed isn't really a factor, but 1.4 is low. I mean, we're talking almost an atom here. You know, it's too low. It's just not that's not a good processor, Core 2 Duos anymore. The technology has advanced. If you're gonna spend $1,000, put at least an i3 in there. You know. How big is the battery life on these things?
It's 5 to 7 hours.
Oh, that's not even that great. I'll tell you guys, if anybody's considering these and they want a Mac, get the white MacBook. The regular plain old white MacBook. It's got
13-inch?
Yeah, the 13-inch. It's got a 250 gig hard drive. The battery lasts for 10 hours. It's got the same graphics as the other one. And it's got a 2.4 gigahertz Core 2 Duo. It'll be the best computer you ever got.
And I can tell you a little more about that. If it's the older design, I know that. I know more about the older design. The older design, I think the screens are cheap on those, and I've done a lot of work on those. I've been in and out of them a lot. They're very popular, and I think that it's the perfect size and weight.
Aren't they? Sweet spot. Yeah, they really are.
They really are. The 13-inch size, it's just right in the level of not too small and definitely not too big to carry around wherever you go.
Right. I'm with you.
And it's I think the only Mac that I know that has a lot, is so popular, those designs, those 13-inch Macs, that there's a million different options and carry cases and casing things you can snap on them, and it's just there's so much out there available for them. Like if you search on eBay for case, there's just so much to choose from. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, they were super popular, and because the form factor hasn't changed in several years. I think they came out in 2006 with that new MacBook. That's when they started putting Intels in it. The form factor in this, it's a little curvier. The new one, it's a little curvier than the ones you were working on, and I think it's one piece of plastic instead of having that top layer, but it's still awesome. My white MacBook, I'm still going to maintain it was the best my favorite computer that I ever owned. I threw that thing around in the like not threw it on the ground, but like I didn't carry it around with a case. I had it and I put it in the passenger seat of my car when I wanted to go somewhere. And I took it with me because it was light, good form factor, and it just ran and ran and ran, and a great battery life.
I see people beating those things up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty sad because I feel bad for them. But you know what? One thing I can tell you about those 13-inch Macs, and I don't know if it's for all Macs, but man, though, they hold their value. I mean, they really hold down to their value.
Yeah.
But your beat up regular traditional Dell or something, it does not hold its value.
No. So that's what I recommend. If anybody's looking at these new Airs, get the white MacBook. You'll have a hell of a computer. I have the silver MacBook Pro, the aluminum one, the 13-inch, and I love 13-inch. But I still go in the Apple Store and I look at the white MacBook and I go, I would think I would like this better than my aluminum MacBook Pro. It's just the white. The white is where it's at. Good. It's a good computer. All right. What else you got there, man?
You know what? I found a really, really, really cool Xbox mod. And it really is pretty neat. And I'm gonna get you a link for it. It's
a 360 mod.
Yeah, it's a 360 mod, but this is to the umpteenth level. Here it is. I think this link should work. It's the one I have my notes.
Extreme Tech. I used to buy all those books. The coolest Xbox 360 Slim ever. Uh-oh, did James Heckendorn do this?
I don't know.
Yeah, Heckendorn. Yeah, this guy. I bought his book. He is the inspiration for me starting my modded Nintendos. And let me pull the video. Yeah, in fact, we're gonna do a little deal where he designs one and I just make them. Let's see. The 360. Yeah, he turns these.
Okay, this is the new Xbox 360.
He turns these consoles into laptops.
With Ben Heck Show branding. Has a removable hard drive, which Microsoft made much easier for me this time. So yeah, let me give you a short demonstration. Open it up. I replicated the touch button, so eject and power our touch, volume up and down and sync our physical text, which is still. Open game. Now, this one uses the stock Xbox 360 Slim fan, so it's much quieter than the Xbox laptops I've made in the past because those had additional fans added to them to keep the system cool. This one is sufficient with the built-in fan. But I still have lots and lots of vent holes. As you can hear, the sound amplifier and speakers is quite sufficient, so you'll definitely hear the game. And if you install the game to the hard drive instead of running off the disk, the system will be even quieter and be pretty much silent. So yeah, there it is, the new Xbox 360 Slim laptop. I started this thing.
He is a hacker, man, if I ever known one. He just tears those systems apart. You should see some of the other systems he's made. Did you see the Xbox 360 he turned into a laptop? Yo, you're still on mute. That's all right.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, I don't. Hey, that's the one that turned into a laptop.
No, he actually had the original 360, put a keyboard on it and everything. It was a laptop. You opened it up like a laptop. It's nuts. This is awesome. I like this form factor better, but he just tears these things apart, man. I learned a lot of soldering from him. If anybody has any interest in this, buy the book. I think it's called Hacking Video Game Consoles by Ben Heckendorn. I picked it up at Barnes & Noble like 4 years ago, and it inspired me to try to start a business building these things. But it was so hard because I don't have an assembly line. It was me with a soldering iron. And I made about 10 of them. I sold them on eBay, and then I said, I never want to touch one of these things again for the rest of my life. And that was the original NES. They were just so hard to make, and there's wires all over, spaghetti inside. But he's just an expert at this. He just knows how to really do it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is really cool. I imagine being a kid in high school with one of these things.
Yeah.
Or whatever, whatever grade, you just go, hey guys, take a look at this, and you just lift that lid, and there's your Xbox right there.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, you'd be the coolest geek in school.
That's pretty awesome. You know what? I was strolling through Best Buy today, And lo and behold, I've never seen this before. I looked to my right, and there was a display for the Sony Google TV. Have you guys seen this yet? I know that Logitech is releasing their Logitech review.
Introducing the world's first HD TV, powered by Google TV. Sony Internet TV brings TV and the Internet together for one interactive TV experience.
You know, I can't go to a website without sounds just starting up now. But that's what it looks like. It almost looks like that Xbox 360. Can you see it on the video, Steve?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, wow. That is really nice looking.
Yeah, it's sweet. I was considering it. I picked up the box. I was looking at it, and I wanted to come home and check reviews and stuff out on it. And I have a TiVo that does so much that I really don't have a need for this. But look at this remote, man.
That's cool.
It's just sick. It's like, for me, I look at that and I go, I think that thing's pretty damn awesome. But can you imagine a regular consumer trying to use that remote? Let me see if I get a zoom in on it. Here it is. Look at that thing. It's like a scientific calculator times 10. Nobody's going to figure that out. It's too many buttons. I mean, come on, Sony. What are you thinking? I love it.
I like it. I like more buttons. I want to see more.
Yeah.
I want buttons on the reverse side. So you accidentally, when you put it on your lap, you're hitting them accidentally. Oh, buttons on the side.
Yeah, they're on the back, actually.
I want them to light up. There's got to be more LEDs.
Yeah, there's like no LEDs on this thing.
Oh, that's
but
not fair.
I was typing on it, and it's actually pretty comfortable to type. It's like having a big fat, Android phone in your hand, or like an Xbox controller at the same time. And it was neat. It was just something new and something neat. But I still have not yet checked out the reviews on it yet.
They'll make like 4 of them. I mean, it's the weirdest thing. Sony they make like a lot of things, and they sell like 100 of them, each one of them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It is strange. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know either. They seem to me, they seem a very dispersed company. They just don't know what quite they want to do, and they just splatter themselves all over the place and somehow continue to make it work. A thing I think that is really stupid is right on the page where they're selling this item, they have reviews. You see the stars? I mean, yeah. The CD player I bought for my car, the radio I bought, had like bad reviews on the Sony page. One of the guys said like, whoever designed this is the biggest bonehead I've ever thought of. And it's like right on their homepage, they're selling the item. It's just, that's not smart. And this only got 4 stars on the thing. It should, if you're gonna put something on your homepage, you better have 5 stars. So I think that's not smart.
Yeah, give yourself more stars,
But it's kind of neat. Have you any experience with Google TV yet, or?
Oh, not at all. But I've been playing with Hulu Plus, and I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and there's some talk that they're gonna go to $5 a month. There's people speculating.
What are they at, 10 right now?
They're at $10 a month now, and the trick is to get anybody who wants to get into Hulu Plus, to get the invitation, just buy one on eBay and you're in. You'll spend like about $10 anyway.
$10 for it's only by invite.
Yeah, you can only get in by invite, but you just buy an invite right off of eBay and you're in. That's how I did it.
That's so dumb. Why? They're charging $10. And they're making it hard for people to sign up. Why?
Because they're in beta. The Hulu Plus is not for prime purposes. Yeah,
I got you.
They're afraid of bandwidth issues. They're not sure about the service, and
you're paying $10 to be a beta tester every month.
Well, I don't know if it's beta. It's just kind of they don't want too many people because they stream, and if they have too much activity, everything will crash and everybody will be pissed and nobody will want to pay $10 a month and everybody will review it as horrible.
I know, seriously, like poor little NBC and Fox. I mean, they don't have much money they could really spend on servers and bandwidth. I mean,
well, apparently Fox is not doing too good because they want right now. Fox is off of Cablevision, which is my cable.
Yeah, what's up with that? I heard about that.
They're in a pissing match with them because they're not getting paid. They want to be paid, I think, $80 million more than they are. They're doing this. Has happened with Cablevision before. For whatever reason, Cablevision doesn't negotiate too well, it seems, from the outside, and so it gets into some kind of crazy negotiation meltdown, and then who pays for it in the end is the Cablevision's customers. And it's just ridiculous. And there's a lot of Cablevision customers that also have the ability to go with Verizon, and a lot of them will over these stupid issues. Actually, I've had 3 or 4 customers come in and say that they are this issue. I mean, all the other issues that they're having with their cable company, Cablevision, this is the one issue that infuriates them the most.
I'll tell you, man. I mean, there's a lot of stuff with sports going on with Fox right now, and if these guys can't see it, especially hardcore. It's Yankees fans. We're talking Yankees fans here. Can't watch the Yankees. Oh my God.
Not necessarily. There's a whole Yes Network, and there's a whole thing about that, so they get to see them. Okay. I'm almost certain of that.
No, the playoffs are on Fox. The playoffs are on Fox and TBS. Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about completely when it comes to the sports and the Yankees.
I mean, I think that if there's no Fox, that kid can't watch that game, but. There would definitely be like a nuclear war if that happened in New York. So I don't think.
Oh yeah, they got to be on the Yes Network.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it's only on Cablevision or something. I don't know. You know what? Cablevision. I could say this. I should say this just so everybody understands it. Cablevision is our over here cable company. But as far as cable companies go, I have to say they're pretty good. I mean, they're not. I mean, as a company, just in period, they stink. But as a company, in comparison to like Time Warner and Comcast and a lot of these other companies, they're 5 stars. I mean, they're
5
amazing.
stars. Why?
In comparison, because Comcast is a horrendous pile of garbage.
No, what's good about yours?
Huh?
What's good about Cablevision? What do they do well?
They have really good customer service, I have to say, and they have actual human beings that answer their phones.
Okay.
And you can call them all every day, and you don't just get some lunatic on the other end of the phone that's worked there for 37 minutes.
Right.
They actually have
doesn't want to be there and is underpaid and is stupid.
Yeah, you don't always get. Did you unplug your modem? Then plug it back in. You don't get always that. Yeah. They actually really are well trained. They know their stuff. I have to say, I mean, it is surprising, and so people hate them a lot less than say Comcast customers.
Okay, good. I was going to say I never met a cable company I liked.
Yeah, you I don't know if you'd like them, but I think you would be happier.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But so I think they give them a little bit of credit in that sense. They're not completely out to lunch, and like Comcast or Time Warner, who probably has the worst customer service ever. Time Warner should be featured on Crap, but the only problem is it's not fun. There's nothing fun.
Right. There's too many people.
People just want to run in there with they want to run in there with a pipe bomb strapped to their chest. I mean, people hate Time Warner.
Really?
If you check out Time Warner, the reviews on Time Warner, they're in a toilet.
They should have like Time Warner versus Comcast to see who's the suckiest.
And I think the only difference is there's just not as many Time Warner customers.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, did you post? How many postings are on Crappy Crap? Sold out just one?
Yeah,
okay.
I know. Okay. I really got to get.
I didn't know if you added one more. I thought you were up to 2, but I didn't.
Not yet.
Okay,
I will
right.
Very soon.
All right, well, let me know when that happens.
Tomorrow.
Hey, gotta give a shout out to Chris Barry in the chat room there. Just had a baby. I see him. I see that he's in there. Just noticed. Congratulations, Chris. What's the baby boy, right? Steve D, do you know?
It's a baby boy. I don't remember the specs.
The specs? Yeah, can you send us the specs, Chris?
8 pounds, 11, I want to say. That's what I want to say, but I have to check.
Joshua, awesome. What's the specs, Chris?
Yeah.
Let's see, we're waiting on specs.
Gender equals boy.
Yeah, gender equals boy. Okay, well, we'll get the specs later. But it's healthy. That's all we need to know. Very healthy, happy baby. Yep. All right, man. 8 pounds, 11 ounces are the specs.
I see. I hit it right on the head.
How much was your baby, Steve?
How much? He was free.
How much did he weigh? How much did he weigh?
Oh, he was 9 pounds, 11 ounces.
Wow.
He was a big monster. He's just he's big. When he's in the hospital and he was delivered, he he was, in comparison to a lot of the babies that he was in with, he looked like a dump truck parked next to smart cars. It's just a huge kid.
Oh man, that's funny.
He was in one of those, what is it, those little, I don't know what the hell, like the little bassinets. They have like little hospital bassinets. He's hanging out in there, doing all those baby things they do. Oh man! Oh wait, he was C-section, so no, she didn't pass him. But he was hanging out in one of those things. His first day, he kicks off the back wall and slides right up. Nurses told me.
Really?
I was like, oh yeah, he's big. And then I was videotaping him, and he looked like he was about to turn over. I think he kind of almost did.
Turn over, really? And that they can't do that at that young.
No, not even close.
I don't know anything about babies. I don't know the technology of babies.
The technology they have, like everything. It's pretty freaky. It's just everything is miniaturized.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they even have like all little fingernails and stuff. It's pretty wild.
Hey, let's see here. You brought up Hulu. One of the things I wanted to talk about was, and by the way, if anybody has experiences with Google TV, let me know. I'm curious. I don't have an interest in it, but I kind of do. I mean, TiVo does everything for me except what are you drinking?
Iced tea.
Wow, that's a big jug. TiVo does just about everything for me except allow me to browse the internet. So that might be what Google TV is good for. But I'm curious, just curious. All right, but it reminded me. Since I moved down here to Florida, I got a new bank account, and so I got to go over my old bank account and see everything that I was subscribed to that was being dinged on a monthly basis on that bank account, and I canceled some stuff. And one of the things is Netflix. I've been paying for Netflix probably for the past 6 to 8 months, and I don't know about, maybe to say 4 months, I haven't done anything on it. Not a DVD, not a streaming show, nothing. The last thing I watched was Dexter. I guess that wasn't too long ago. But I hardly watch it. So I canceled my Netflix subscription. And it's such a shame because every device I have here plays Netflix. I could probably count 19 things in my house that play Netflix, and I don't want the service anymore. But
wow, I think you're the only one
that doesn't want Netflix. I know, man. People love it, but the streaming content's not that good. And I tell you, so you say, okay, well, don't get streaming content. Order a DVD. You want the latest movies, right? Yeah, if I want the latest movies, I rent them from Amazon On Demand on my TiVo. So, if I rent a couple movies, 3 movies a month, that basically is the same as what Netflix cost me. So I don't want to pay for TiVo and Netflix. Hey, if I had to use one service, it's TiVo all the way. TiVo's got pretty much everything I need right now. And so I canceled my Netflix. Do you use your Netflix?
I don't use Netflix at all.
I thought you subscribed. Would you just do a
trial?
No,
it's just Hulu Plus. That's it for me.
For some reason I thought you did. Okay.
I've always been kicking around the idea, and I just never really pulled the trigger on it.
On Netflix, okay.
Yeah, I don't see enough Hulu to actually get tired of it. So I'm kind of hanging out with that for now.
And you like Hulu Plus, huh?
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty surprised at how much more is on there, but I'm not really a huge TV fan, so some of it I'm missing. But this I tell you, movies wise, Hulu Plus it's pretty crappy. But yeah, but like a lot of TV shows are very good. A lot of them, and you can actually even tell that you are when you're using Hulu Plus. There's a little H plus next to things that are only for the Hulu Plus subscribers.
Of course, they gotta make it feel special.
Yeah, but things like for all those X-Files fans, I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. I think every X-Files is on Hulu Plus.
That's cool. See, I really don't like that different services have different shows, and you gotta buy them all to get all the shows you want. Dude, do me a favor. I can't believe I'm saying this, but move your mic a little closer to your mouth because I'm losing you a little bit. That's cool.
Okay.
There, much better, much clearer.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. What else you got on your list there? Then we'll do what do you like and what don't you like.
Sure. Well, I thought maybe I'm going to put a big blog posting about this guy. There's an author that I'm a big fan of, and maybe people like to hear it. He's a pretty interesting guy. There's a man named. Well, actually, I should start off with how I found him. Very unlikely situation. Well, definitely not in the past few years. I haven't really browsed bookstores. I don't really like to read paper anymore, because it's just too busy. I can't actually just sit down with a paper book.
Right.
It just doesn't fit in my life. But audio, big fan. So because I can at least do something, as I'm reading.
Right.
So, one day I was walking around in like Barnes and Noble or something, or Borders, I forget which one, and I just happened to see a book that looked kind of interesting, and it was on the dust jacket was of a young kid as an inmate, and I was like, oh, that's pretty wild. So I just like looked at it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting, and then it was a memoir, and it was a memoir of a writer, a crime writer, and I was like, and it was this whole. It was a story about how he was what it was like from growing up from a small kid all the way up till he got out of prison, and it was a really good book. I think probably the best book I've ever read.
So you bought it?
Yeah, I bought it. Actually, bought it, read it, and when I read it, I put it down. I waited about a year and I read it the whole damn thing again.
Really?
And I enjoyed it just as much the second time around. And I caught a few things that I didn't even recognize. Like the first time around. Like I was like, wow, it was pretty wild. It's a really, really amazing book. It's called Education of a Felon. The name of the author is Edward Bunker. Edward Bunker is what happened with the basic story about Edward Bunker is that he's an old time guy. He was born. Let me see. I have some notes here. Unfortunately, Edward died in 2005, so we can't interview him or talk to him anymore. But he kind of grew up as what they refer to him as state raised, and there's a lot of different. The book that I'm referring to, Education of a Felon, there's actually a bunch of different versions of it, but they all have different covers and maybe even a different title, like Mr. Blue and things like that. But really, they're all the same book, Education of a Felon. And Edward was he grew up in foster care, then juvenile detention centers, and then prisons, and he lived a life of crime, and then finally he decided, but in prison he read a lot. I mean, he was always an active reader, and to the point where he wanted to become a writer, and he was inspired in San Quentin. He was actually the youngest kid in San Quentin. He was he was the youngest person to ever be sentenced and put into San Quentin at 17 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, I forget what it was. It was probably like armed robbery or something insane. Yeah. He did a lot of things, but he wasn't very violent as far as a crime. He was just a thief, really. And eventually he got sentenced to San Quentin twice. And he actually spent so much time in San Quentin that he ended up watching. He saw one of the guards when he first was put in there. He knew him, and then on his second stint, he watched him actually become warden.
Wow.
So he was around a long time, and a really long time. And because of his whole lifestyle and everything, he being a really good writer, what he did was he just got a typewriter smuggled into the prison. He sat on his bed and he used a typewriter on his toilet in his tiny little prison cell, and he somehow convinced one of the publishers to actually read his novels that he was writing. And when they're new, when the writer's new, they don't always write really good novels at first. So they read one of his first ones and they're like, "Oh, this is actually shows a lot of potential. Keep going." He convinced them to actually when they read your novels, they actually force you to pay them, which is kind of interesting because they can't read everybody's novels. They would go broke reading everything.
Right.
So and there's a lot of garbage out there. So they saw some potential in him. They waived their fees because he couldn't pay and he was locked in San Quentin. Right. And he didn't have like a sentence that was going to run out or something. It was an ambiguous sentence. They used to do that back in those days. They just say you're in until further notice. It's kind of one of those things. Right. And so he kept writing, and I think right about his fourth novel, he wrote. He wrote his fourth novel was actually picked up not only published. He actually had to smuggle all these novels out with money that the postage that he smuggled it with was blood money. He actually sold his blood to pay for the postage to send these
Wow.
novels out, and they weren't sent out; they had to be smuggled out. And he got published. And not only was it published, it was actually turned into a screenplay, and then and it became a movie, and everything. It was pretty cool.
What's the name of the movie?
Let's see, it was called Straight Time.
Huh.
And it was in 1978, and it actually starred Dustin Hoffman. And he actually worked with Dustin Hoffman, and he got a release from San Quentin because he became like an instant celebrity over this.
Wow.
And not only that, so he got released from San Quentin, and then he got a part in the movie, that of course that is based on his book.
Yeah, I think I heard about this.
Yeah, and not only that, he got a scene with Dustin Hoffman.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, see, he went from a thug in a horrible prison like San Quentin, from that to starring in a scene with Dustin Hoffman in a movie that basically wouldn't have never come about if it wasn't for him.
And that was like Dustin Hoffman's heyday, probably, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was big then, very big. And not only that, Dustin Hoffman played his character. Not the character. It was a fictional tale, the movie, but he played the character that Edward Bunker wrote. So when they were writing and tweaking the screenplay, he worked hand in hand with Dustin Hoffman to kind of show him, like, what is genuine kind of criminology, what is a genuine way that a criminal would think or do or this and that. And he'd say, oh man, like Edward Bunker would just kind of tell, like, if he had an idea, Dustin Hoffman had an idea or something, he just kind of just shake his head and go, no, man, that's just crap. Like, that's just not real. That's not the way it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then he starred in a bunch of movies. He actually was remember the movie Heat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a big role in that, but it was all behind the scenes. And he was in that remake that wasn't that good in 2005, The Longest Yard.
As a comedy.
Yeah, it was a comedy with it was a remake of The Longest Yard.
That's right. Adam Sandler, Burt Reynolds, right?
Yeah, and Chris Rock. Yeah.
And
he was actually in the movie.
Were they in prison, or they were a football team?
Yeah, they were a football team in prison.
Okay.
And he actually had scenes in that movie.
Really?
He was I forget, his name was Skitchy Rivers or something like that.
Dude, I remember that dude.
Yeah, he's just an old guy with a mop or something.
Yeah. I remember him. Yeah, that movie wasn't good. That movie was not good.
It wasn't that great. No, it wasn't. Unfortunately, it wasn't that great. But he also what is kind of cool is that he knew Danny Trejo, the guy from that movie Machete. He's in like a million movies. Danny Trejo, that scary looking Mexican guy with the.
Yeah. He was in From Dusk Till Dawn, wasn't he?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, and a lot of other movies. He has actually knew him before he was when he was in prison. They actually were in prison together, and they were both boxers in prison. And when they happened to be both on a movie set somewhere, and he recognized him. He was like, "Holy crap, that's Danny Trejo! I know that guy." And they actually kind of hit it off, and they became friends. Actually pretty good friends. And Edward Bunker knew like so many people in the movie industry because he used to be close with a silent movie star when he was a criminal, like a young street kid. And so he actually helped his career big time. So yeah, he helped Danny Trejo become like bigger and bigger.
Damn, this guy, it's pretty amazing for being locked up more than half of his life.
Oh yeah, he's had a lot of movies not a whole lot, but I mean, like, I think it was like 2 or 3 movies that based on his books and everything, and he wrote some really great stuff.
So this one is nonfiction, right?
Yeah, Education of Felon is nonfiction, but there's another book called A Little Boy Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Little Boy Blue is not necessarily, it is fiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely fiction, but it's not necessarily complete fiction.
Yeah.
Most of the stories that he talks about, or the events that are in Little Boy Blue, are from his childhood, or of people that he knew during his childhood. So a lot of it's real. Is a lot of realism. It's like reading his fiction is like reading nonfiction. It's very It is fiction. It is the style of fiction, but it's so realistic. It's scary. It really is frightening. Some of it, especially Little Boy Blue. Little Boy Blue is about starts off with a kid he gets upset by hearing curse word, like he's like so innocent,
Yeah.
and he goes from innocence in like foster care to armed robbery with shotguns in liquor stores.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, and shootouts. I mean, he goes from like a little innocent boy to just a monster.
Wow.
And yeah, the progression, and as you read the book, he just goes through this progression, and you see him basically turn to dirt, you know.
Pretty cool.
And the last but not least, you all know him from the movie Reservoir Dogs. You remember Reservoir Dogs?
Sure.
The beginning scene of Reservoir Dogs. They're all sitting around in the table, and there's a whole big thing. They're talking about Madonna, which is really dirty, and they're also talking about paying for checks,
tipping,
and tipping. Yep, he's the old guy there. You see, there's a really old guy in the whole thing. What's his name? Quentin Tarantino was a big fan of his books and his writing, and said I just gotta write him in. He just wrote him in just to get him in there.
That's awesome. Yeah, because was he in the rest of the movie, the old guy?
He was in those scenes in the beginning with the whole restaurant scene and everything, and then later on he's kind of hanging out in the background. I think has one or two lines. He's hanging out with them as they're kind of all learning their names.
Oh, well, does he have a name?
Yeah, his name was Mr. Blue.
Oh, he was Blue. All right.
Yeah, because
that was Edward Bunker?
Yeah, that was Edward Bunker.
Neat.
Yeah,
cool.
So I'm going to write a whole thing on my blog.
Because he's Little Boy Blue. That's why they call him Blue, right?
Exactly. That's why they chose the color blue.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah,
man.
Really
if
cool.
anybody wants to buy these books, go to podnutz.com/Amazon. Buy all the books you want.
Yeah.
And they're made out of paper. So, wait, do they have Kindle versions? They don't even have Kindle versions.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's audio either. But if anybody wants to go right to the source, really good ones.
No. Education of a Felon is on Kindle. I'm probably gonna buy that.
Is it? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good book. It's really wild.
Cool, man. Great suggestions.
It's cool because it's really cool because it's also there's a little bit of history involved because the time span or the timeline that he refers to in his life is way back. I mean, he talks about his criminal days are a different time. It was in the 70s and earlier. It was not like it wasn't like the street thugs of today where they're just shooting each other over like $10. I mean,
cool.
These people there was actually like a code in those days, and everybody knew each other. It was weird, strange. Yeah.
Yeah, that's check it out. Good suggestion, Steve. For those of you who don't know what paper is, you will have to reacquaint yourself with it.
Dead trees.
Dead trees. Speaking of paper, then we'll go to what do you like and what don't you like. I had to get some bank statements from my bank, which is Citizens Bank, which is a big bank in Philly, because I told you I moved down to Florida and I have a new bank account down here. So I called up because I couldn't get them online. So I called up and I said, I need my bank statements, but they're not available online. They go, oh yeah, those bank statements, they're only available 18 months back online. If you need anything farther than that, then we have to get them for you. And I said, okay, well, I need them, please. Sure, sir. It costs $10 per statement and $25 per hour on labor charges. This is from my bank to get pieces of paper to me. And I mean, I don't care. I'm like $10. I'm like, send them to me over email. Oh, we don't send email, sir. And this is a big bank. They built Philadelphia. They built the stadium for the Phillies. We don't email anything, sir. I said, send them to me as a PDF. I'm like, why does it cost $10? Well, they're on microfilm, and somebody has to go back there and get them, and then we have to mail them to you. And I said, mail? I'm like, paper? I'm like, you're a bank. I'm like, you can't afford to do this electronically? I'm saying it to him, and I'm saying it a little mad now, but when I'm saying it to him, I said it sternly, but matter-of-factly, and not terribly angrily. I'm like, I'm trying to explain to him that they need to come into the 21st century here and to get some paper or get some electronic crap going. And he's like, sir, I can't do anything about it. And this is one of my little stories. This is what I do. And I said, well, I understand that. Thank you for explaining that to me very nicely. Put me on the phone with somebody who could give this to me for free. And they're like, sir, well, we can't waive that $25 charge. I go, no, not the $25 charge. Everything. I want everything for free. And he says, what did he say? He's like, well, sir, I could give you an estimate of how much this is going to cost. We might be able to cut you a break on the price. And I said, fine, give me an estimate. And he goes, well, for me, because it's going to take some work for you to give me an estimate, it's going to cost $25 to give you an estimate of how much my statements are going to cost to mail me. I go, that's cool. I want an estimate, but I'm not paying anything for it. And he's like, but it costs $25. This is the policy. I go, look, you're not getting me. I'm not paying anything for any of it, and I want you to send everything to me. Every statement I got since I opened this account.
And I want it hand-delivered.
And so I did this with him for a couple minutes, and finally he put me on with his manager or whoever. And so I'm on with this woman, and she says to me, we explain. I think he explained to you it costs $10 for each statement and $25 for labor. I go, yeah, but I want it for free. Well, we send you the statements, so you're supposed to keep your statements. And I go, I don't have them. Well, sir, that's why it costs money for us to go get them off the microfilm and blah blah blah. I go, yeah, I know that, but I want them for free. And she's like, we did this for a couple minutes, and then I said something. I was debating in my mind whether I should say it, and I did. And I actually regret it now, but you kind of calmed me down about it. I lied to her. At some point in this conversation, I said to her, well, I'm sorry that a natural disaster wiped out all of my bank statements. I said, I'm sorry that happened. I'm really sorry that happened. And I need these statements. So, and she goes, sir, well, let me call you back in half an hour. So she calls me back in half an hour, and the whole time I'm like, man, I didn't know I was going to... I'm thinking to myself, I didn't know I was going to get that reaction. I'm like, I didn't know she was just going to do it. But then she calls me back in half an hour and says, okay, we're working on your case right now, and it's going to take a little longer than we thought because some of the statements aren't coming up. And I'm like, thank you. I'm thinking, like, this is awesome. And then I hung up with her then, and then I had a real conscience come crashing down on me. And I'm in this, like, mental debate now of... what's right and what's wrong? Okay, so I lied to her, and she's getting done something that I think she should have gave me for free anyway. And even if I didn't pull the whole natural disaster stunt, I still would have fought this to the end. But she's doing this because she thought I went through a natural disaster and that wiped out all my records. So what should I do, Steve? Should I feel bad? Should I call and say, look, I still want these, but there was no natural disaster? What do you think?
No. You just stopped them from scamming you. That's all you did, because they're the ones who struck first with that scam of $300-something for.
Yeah, for me to get all my statements, it would cost me $375. I think. Yes.
Oh, you know what? It's like, think about it this way. Okay.
$325.
The way I think of it is, they insulted you. So and they tried to scam you. I mean, they're just. You know what? They're Craigslist scammers with suits and ties. That's what they are.
Oh man, I feel much better now. Thank you.
Absolutely. Who? Okay. All right. So maybe it costs maybe in some argument it costs $375 or whatever it might be to get statements for some kid to hit print on a printer. Okay. So maybe that's true, right? Maybe that's arguable. But who pays for an estimate?
Right.
Who? I'd love to hear the person that pays for an estimate. I've never heard of that before in my entire life. That's a scam.
You're right, man. You're right. So right.
You did the right thing.
Thank you. I feel great now. I feel great. That estimate thing put me over the edge on this.
They got enough money anyway. The hell. They don't need to make. They're a bank. They need. You know what?
That's what I told them. I trusted them with my money. I gave them my money. I work hard for this money. I gave it to you. Take it. Hold it. Invest it. Just give it back when I want it. And that's payment enough, don't you think, for getting some paper sent to me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because you know what? Banks should be making money with their money, right? Not through fees and charges and this and that, and now estimates and late fees. What is that?
Dude,
I mean, that's not the way their business was supposed to be.
You're right. In fact, there was a commercial for Citizens Bank before I moved, and it was all about community and liberty and for the people, and they were all getting in this whole Philadelphia like brotherhood thing, and I'm like, this is crap. But then that $25 for an estimate, I want them to say that on that commercial. $10 per statement. Come on. I mean, it's just too ridiculous.
You should. You know what you should have done? You should have said, "Don't you know who you're dealing with? I'm Steve from podnutz. I will have your job."
Oh my god.
If I heard
that's so funny.
that video, I would fall off my seat.
Oh, dude, you cracked me up. You really cracked me up. All right, what don't you like?
You know what? I absolutely.
What?
You know what I don't like? I hate complete and total unprofessionalism. It really bugs me. I mean, I'm not the most professional person in the world, but I tried to. It's just so annoyed with things. I actually was looking for. I was just looking to get some work done the other day, and I don't know what it is, but this week I've gotten 3 sales calls from different. It's hard to explain. I signed up for a lot of these websites that have that list your company profile information,
right.
And just because they had my company information, but it was all wrong. It had a different phone number, it had a different address, it was all messed up, and they were Google spidering that information around, and I just needed to stop the source from being wrong. So I signed up for a bunch of these sites, and I'm just because I signed up for your site and I changed my correct, make your bad information correct information, doesn't mean I'm opening myself up for phone calls, solicited phone calls. I'm so sick of that. And then not only that, and if you're gonna call me, or anybody, be on the phone, when I pick it up.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Nothing is worse than waiting for somebody to answer the phone when they rang you.
Oh, dude, you know what it's like? It's like, say we're both standing in this room, and I go, yo, Steve, and you go, what? And I go, hold on a minute.
Hold on.
And I do something for 20 seconds, and then come back and say, yeah, do you want a sandwich? It's like something like that. Yeah, I'm with you. Please hold. There's a very important call waiting for you. Oh man.
It's just, and they're trying to sell me something, and then they sound like they're in a distance. Oh, my favorite was this. Some company called.
You told us this, but you can tell us again if you want.
I did. Oh yeah. They were selling a phone system, and they had the worst phone system I've ever heard.
Right. And you told them first. What did you say? First, you might want to get a.
You might want to sell your own product yourselves.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm totally with you with that. Oh, that's amazing. What kind of service? It's not like LinkedIn or anything like that, are you?
No, it wasn't LinkedIn. I forget what it was. It was I think it was one of them. I think was Manta. I forget the other name of it. I forget the other company. I just blocked it out of my mind after I heard it. But I swear it's happened 3 times this week. So by the 3rd time, I pick up the phone and it's just complete silence. I'm like, hello. I'm like, my finger's on the button, and then I hear, and then it's like, hello. I'm like, oh my god.
What did you say?
It's, and then I'm like, and then I just immediately said to them, after they said hello 3 times to me, and I said hello 3 times to them, and then they went, and then they said, sir, and then I said, am I bothering you? And they said, no. I said, good, because you're bothering me. And then I just hung right up on them.
That's awesome. All right. Ask me what I don't like, just because we're running low on time here. I could talk about that forever.
I know. It's a fantastic topic. What are you hating these days?
I don't like when I'm in a store, especially a music store, like Guitar Center or Best Buy in the music section, and there's somebody in there that thinks that they are the only person in the store, and it's their own private store, and they can play whatever they want as loud as they want. and to boot, they suck at whatever they play. Because number one, you're ignorant because you suck and you don't know it. And when somebody sucks at music, they should at least have an inkling. And 2, you don't care that you're just blasting this there's some speakers and you turn them down to a listenable level, and that's what you're supposed to do. You play something, you hear it yourself, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Turn it up for a second and be like, man, that amp's pretty loud. That's how you do it. You don't go boom, 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 and just you see the woofers on these speakers breaking practically, just booming. Oh, it's the worst. It is the worst. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than hearing somebody play music and they're like, bad guitarists that are flashy are the worst people on earth.
Yeah,
because they're just like they're playing like yeah, and they're like flailing around and you're just like no,
it's just a shame. It's a shame that that has to exist in this environment.
But it's so cringy. So there's like you could either be on one of the two sides. You can enjoy the cringe moment, or you could just laugh.
Yeah, yes. It depends really what your purpose is there and what mood you're in.
Yeah.
But it could be funny. I could see that.
Especially if your friends are there and you're like they're in on it with you.
Yeah.
And you just like nudge them and go, dude, look at this guy. This guy's great. Look at this guy. And you just run up and you be like, and then if you're with a friend, the best is if you want to really make them more uncomfortable is you make them come with you as you torment the guy for a CD. You're like, oh man, you're great. Where's your CD? Can I buy your CD? Where can I buy it?
I don't think I can do that to that dude. What do you like?
Oh, I never done this before. I guess it's kind of silly. It's something I just haven't never gotten around to doing. But I loved it. It was great. I loved it. It was I had my first fondue, but like cheese fondue. I did the chocolate thing before, but I had like cheese fondue. It was really good.
Really? What does it taste like?
Well, cheese and stuff, but like hot cheese.
Like out of a little fountain, or?
No. What they do is they get like a little pot and they. In the restaurant, they hook it. They put like the right kind of cheese in there. It's hard to do, I guess, possibly. And that one that won't like turn like rock hard in 37 minutes or 37 seconds. I mean, and what they do is they put that down, and at least the place I went to, they put like a little candle underneath it. And then so that keeps it kind of like molten for a little longer. And then they give you all these little things you can kind of stab and just jam in cheese. It's pretty cool.
So it was a fondue restaurant?
It was a restaurant. Yeah, that one of their big menu items is fondue.
Yeah, I always wanted to try the cheese fondue. Tasty, huh?
Yeah.
What were you?
It was really good.
Like meat, chicken.
Yeah, you can put meats and chickens, and there's something called, I never tried this, Mongolian or like some kind of hot pot kind of fondue thing. It's like a whole different ball game. What it is a boiling pot of hot like water, I guess, and some kind of peppers and oils and stuff, and like oily pepper stuff and things. And then what you do is you get slices of raw meat. And then you stab the raw meat, and then you jam it into it's really sliced thin, and you stick it into the boiling like hot cauldron, and then it cooks it, and then you eat it like right after.
Wow, that's neat.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Damn.
That looks cool. I want to have that.
Dude, next when you come down here, we're going fondue eating.
Supposedly there's something in Orlando, but that's probably a little far.
There's fondue places around.
Yeah.
I got everything here. Seriously, everything. It's whatever I need is 5 minutes away. Everything's cool. 5 minutes away.
That's really cool.
Ask me what I like.
Yeah, what do you like?
2 things real quick, short things that I enjoy, and then we're going to end off. I like, number 1, clear sinuses. I have allergies, especially when I eat certain foods. It's just like, when I eat certain foods, it's like a little mucus factory starts in my sinuses. It's like guys are sitting there churning it out, and that's what it feels like. And I hate that. I hate it very much. But every once in a while, I'll wake up or I have a day where just like my sinuses are perfectly clear. And I love that. You breathe in, it's just like smooth. The air just goes whoosh, right in. And that happened to me this morning. So I said, I like that, and I'm going to talk about it tonight. Second thing I like is, this is awesome. Since I moved down to Florida, and you can't experience this, I don't think. Do you fill out a lot of stuff online, like forms, and like you always have to enter your name and address and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Well, mine, when I go to type the state now that I live in, I don't have to scroll down the P. Florida is always it's always towards the top. You don't have to scroll at all.
You just hit F and you're done.
Just hit F. It's done.
Oh,
or don't even hit F.
Like
don't even hit F.
times.
Open up the drop down, and it's right there. No scrolling needed. So that's what I'm really happy about.
Ooh, you know what? I'll make you even happier. Get Google Toolbar, and in the Google Toolbar, there's a thing called autofill. You click on that little thing, and bam,
really
fills it all in for you.
Okay, I will do that because I hate filling out forms.
It's the only reason why I have the Google Toolbar.
Really?
Yeah, there's no other thing I like about it
You know
except
what?
for
I'm
that.
sure there's a Firefox extension I could use for that, probably, right?
Sure, there has to be one.
RoboForm or something like that. I don't know.
I think, yeah, something like that out there. I've never actually looked into it.
All right, man. Let's end off this baby. What do you say?
Yeah.
All right, where can people find you, Steve D'Amico?
StephenDemico.com and my website, crappycrapcrap.com, which will have new craps on there. So
We'll believe it when we see it.
I know. They are coming.
Email content to Steve for his site, if you will, and maybe he'll put it on there if he ever gets around to it.
Everything is logged in my Gmail, so I will get to it, I promise, for everybody. But I am getting your comments. I just haven't been posting a lot of them because it's kind of mixed. Like, it's comments to things about the site, but it's on a thing, and it's like,
No,
what?
don't put that.
Yeah,
That's
so
just
it's a little
crap.
weird.
That's just crap.
Yeah, I don't want my site to be crappy.
All right. Well,
I'd have to feature myself.
quick announcement. If you guys want Podnutz hats and T-shirts, buy them up, please, because I have them. Except all I have for T-shirts are large and extra large. Just go to podnutz.com/clothing, and the hats are awesome. Superb quality. Even better than this one I am wearing now. It's better. And T-shirts are nice too. So check them out. Podnutz.com/clothing. Buy that stuff and you know, wear Podnutz proudly around.
I do. I have them.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's great. I have to say the hat is really solid.
Sweet. I must say, I was just kidding. I'm partial to this one. This is the one you got me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fits good. All right. That's it for Podnutz at Night, or Nutz at Night, as some of you might call it. We're gonna do a little bit of a post show here, and we will see you all next time. Bye.